Good morning. I'm Crazy, aka When Must I Sign In, and I'm joined by Helveticus. Are you there, Helveticus? It is early morning. This is AcesHi versus DPA, the first of the best of 5 in the final games. Both teams have readied. I don't know why Abra hasn't clicked. Oh, Crack as host. This is actually inaccurate. The teams agreed to start at EST rather than CST, even though many people were told throughout the week it would be CST, but whatever. In the bottom left, we have Nox going. What am I looking at? 712 interceptor carrier. Okay. Range missile on Alpha SBC. Range missile on Laptop Panda SBC. 4-3 on Lucky Devil S Colossus. Amp on Ghost. And Hull in 1-1 on Singularity. From AcesHi, we have Crackshot going Overlord with Plague. Delta 9 also Plague Overlord. Red Dog with Feedback. Dead Knight 4-3. And Abra with 5 Insane 4. It's a 2-speed difference on Nox. It's interesting open. So it's 2 Overlords versus 2 BCs. Arbiter versus Raven. And DK versus DK. With C on both sides. The initial push should go to DPA, but it seems like AcesHi has a much stronger late game, so we'll see if it goes to that. Plagues have started to take effect on the top in particular. Nox is burning, but in the mid, Insoki has been pushed hard. Sorry if I'm a bit quiet. It's very early morning in my time zone. AcesHi is just coming out normally. They're down for the moment, but compositions are different enough that a little bit of a loss in the early game should not be prohibitive for a win. And they should get a good push with next round of Plagues coming in now. No one on DPA is taking a lot of damage here, and we should be off to a solid start to this game. The question will be whether DPA can get a rundown on their first out after their initial advantage, considering they do mostly already have good speed. With some exceptions. Mercenary Evening within 70. DPA back together. Ghost is 425 energy. Black top is Pods. Nox is 10 Ints and Surge. Hardened Shield and Lucky. Scan. Wow. Trot Field, Charges, and Bots with 325 energy. This was pushed so much at the beginning it's hard to tell what exactly they got, except for Abra, who's at 13 Ints. So he has to be careful here. Singularity has charges. And still enough energy to cast 2 more. He's going to be able to cut in here. Probably get a charge on Dead Knight. Feedback goes off, but Dead Knight is still in trouble. But he gets out there. Big extension on both Overlords. Hardened Shield. Charges and bots, no protective field. There's still a difference in farm, but really I want to say it's DPA who needs to generate a play here. If they don't find some way to take advantage of their lead. The longer the game goes, the harder of a time they will have dealing with AcesHi's comp. And on cue, we have a warp trick coming in. Carrier has warped back. Mates are going to prevent anyone else from warping out. And this is going to be a tight situation. It looks like the Harbinger is the main target. Red Dog is the most desired. However, it does have Vortex, but the enemies are split. Gets Ints on Red Dog. Tex is out, and he has protected his team and Red Dog from a rundown. Warping 21 imps on Nox. And 37 lasers. A lot of the team is now starting to, well, pretty much. Then, yeah, it's not clear how they're going to effectively deal with these interceptors right now. Cloak keeps them off targets other than the ARB, but Minseki does have the lasers to deal with them in part. Top is also taking Abra's interceptors in top. He might actually be in more danger than Soki is. 3,600 on laptop Panda. And the ints go off. Relatively balanced game at 17 minutes. But it still feels like it's up to DPA to make the bigger play here. They are holding a lead, but they're not expanding a lead or maintaining control or containment. And the longer the game goes, the easier it might become for Abra to pick off one of the battle cruisers. And once the overlords have side blast, it will become a lot easier to get a kill. AcesHi is definitely playing for the long game here so far. With heavy control, winning the energy war with Siphon, and Minseki getting 7 lasers to deal with the interceptors. Two carriers are now laning against each other. Apparently, they decided that they didn't want BCs trying to lane against Abra at this point in the game. Their interceptors have gotten too high. Lockdown is making it hard for the Dreadnought to stay in lane. Especially considering he was lacking protective field before. Not sure. Just 10 lasers. Still no protective field. Still no protective field. It's going to be very hard for Minseki to push into the enemy team without protective field. 350 energy. He also does not regenerate it very quickly after lockdowns. Only laptop has lockdown. Alpha has gone. Not sure what Alpha is going really. It's just underfarmed. Nox is a massive part of the overall team income. It's actually doing some gaps on laptop, but no threat of a kill here. Once around Red Dog. Looks like it's going to get cleaned up. Laptop maintaining kiting on Minseki. The rest of the team pushing up mid. Ghost has picked up B-map. 500 energy accumulated. Running some lucky level 50. Nox is up 27 hits. Actually surprised they're not on Delta 9 or something here. importantly, it has actually begun to expand now. Let's see if they can hold it. Pretty much all of it is on Nox. But in carrier versus carrier, if one gets a big lead, as Nox has, that sometimes can actually start to snowball. Red Dog picked up Storm to help deal with interceptors. Crack is the first to get a side blast. 1400 damage on it. Crack is much more strongly farmed than Delta. Though Dead Knight is actually the lowest farm ship in the game so far. The Colossus. Seems like since the Vortex came out, DPA has not been interested in trying to force a warp trick. Between the Plagues and the Lance and the Charge, it actually is almost more of a liability for them to be grouped up. But it's also not clear to me how they have a kill mech if they are not going for some sort of positional advantage. Seems like most of their kill mech right now is just Nox. And considering the amount of AoE they have, it will be hard to solidify a kill before the Overlords start to take off. Rack shot side blast. Still no protective field on Sophie. Oh, 60 points of shield regen on Red Dog. Delta's taken some damage, but they'll get cloaked by Red Dog. Seems like this game could easily go to the late game, although it's always hard to say for certain with high level interceptors on the board. So just a reminder, this is a best of 5 finals bracket, not a best of 3 like the semifinals. And it's still too early to say which team will take it for the first game. although there is a score lead for DPA with two different compositions. Far too early to call one way or the other. $37 ends. Axis ends are starting to get very hard to deal with. No commitment to Vortex or anything else, just pure interceptors. At a 1400, 1350 farm. It's starting to make AcesHi very nervous. Be 10 on side blast. Even with Lance, Storm, and 30 ends, still can be difficult to deal with Nox's weapons. Ooh, Nox is vortexed. Lucky Devil pops some vulnerability. He's trying to push Abra off. Looks like Sophie's trying to get on. He's locked down. Singularity's pushing in. Nox is moving away. Sophia's on him still. Does not have another charge yet. He's transferring to Alpha. Nuke is... Crack Shot goes down. Nuke hits nothing. Oh, Nuke blacks out. Dead Knight. Sorry. Singularity is low. And Sophia's focusing Singularity. Delta 9 does not have Side Blast. Singularity at 1500. So he's struggling to maintain the damage. He's at 3000. He's turning. Answer on Red Dog. So he's at 900, 700. E-shields are popped. Shields are down to 1000. Lucky Devil is out of shields. Siphon. Looks like they may back off here. But with Crack Shot down, their overboard with Side Blast has died, which was a big part of the AcesHi kill mechanism. It's now a 1400 score difference. And Nox is still alive. This was an aggressive play from AcesHi, trying to get a big kill. Perhaps realizing that Nox still has not picked up his own Vortex, but ultimately the battle cruisers, the lockdown, and the control avoided the two tanks from maintaining damage on Nox, or getting a strong transfer to Alpha, both of who lived. Still hard for Nox to generate additional kills, with Red Dog providing cloaking to anyone who gets low. Not sure what's going on with positioning here, whether they're threatening either what pick. Top Pop's nuke is back up. Alpha does not have nuke. Working on the top. Tex. Doesn't look like this is a defensive Tex. They're not going to try to push in here. This is certainly a big advantage right now for DPA, but it is still, almost all of their score is still on Nox. So if he were to make a mistake, it could very quickly turn the other way. Still no protective field from Sophie. He has been blocked down for much of the game. Some damage on Abra. He's going to get pushed back. Still on 30 inch to Nox is now 44. And the Interceptor War is starting to tilt toward Nox. The lockdowns hurt a lot more now that the second Overlord is dead, without the extra siphon of the Contaminate, and it's starting to deal both with Denial and with Interceptors. Are on Abra. He texts himself to save himself from the enemy carrier's interceptors. Should work for now, although it is nonetheless still frustrating, I'm sure. And continue to fight each other, it looks like. Might actually be easier to see Nox's point of view here. It's targeting the ends on Abra. Cloak. Trying to keep them there for Abra in case things break off. Some bats getting on Delta. And the containment is getting worse for Aces at this point. This is exactly what DPA needs to be doing. Just take advantage here. And they're actually going to start threatening this tower as well. It's going to be hard to kill it with the cloak. But if they can get lockdown on the Arbiter, which they've done, they can't threaten anymore. In a way, there's something intuitive about the double battlecruiser in terms of if you're thinking of the battlecruiser primarily as a response to the tank. And you're strongly expecting 2 enemy tanks, having 2 battle cruisers so that you can lock down each target definitely makes sense. It does create the risk that you have a weaker endgame, but your transition into the mid-game is much, much stronger. But it was actually already in the beginning of the endgame, in the beginning of the late game rather, that DPA got their kill with PCs. A lot of damage going in on Abra. Delta goes down. Wow. Should have broken out of Max's perspective. There's more damage around here than I expected. And if they can't get a kill here, this is looking very dire for AcesHi. It's looking more probably now that DPA may very likely take game 1. Second tower is now going down. Nox has left for the moment, but he will be back soon. Blackout on Minsoki. Amber has quite a bit of time on Vortex, considering he just got locked down. It can still be hard to seal the deal here with Red Dog. They still have the Dread, they still have the Arbiter, and they still have the Carrier. It could be in a worse situation, but it's still going to be very hard to hold this position based on the strength and the difference in score. Root is on Minsoki. That will generate a blackout. Damage on Abra. No firm commitment here in terms of a target. Clearly target kill. Actually, the ints are on Red Dog. Red Dog is at 2,000. Another unique on Cloak is up. Vortex is down. Abra now has 2 minutes on Vortex. The mothership itself is not taking a particularly large amount of damage. Minsoki, 8 armor, 15 gats. Ints once again on Red Dog. Stasis on Laptop, but Red Dog does now finally go down. And at this point, this is largely over, and Abra GG's out. And that will be game 1 of the best of 5 between AcesHi and Red Alert. Thank you for watching so far, and join me soon as we continue on to game 2. See you soon.